Hi, my name is Natalie and welcome to my Holistic Health channel. Today I am all out of moisturiser, and as I particularly like to make my own so I can avoid the shop ones with the additives and things, I have got myself some ingredients in order to make a nice moisturising bar. So I quite like having bars, so I can just take them and then rub them over my skin. Maybe depending on how hard they are, I can break a bit off and then melt it between my hands and rub it in. So it's another option to use rather than having a lotion, which can get messy. So these are quite handy if you're traveling and you've just got a box or something you can contain it in, sort of beeswax wrap or anything like that. Really good because it's not going to spill in transit. So what I use these molds. So it's a silicone mold. You can do soaps and all sorts of other things in there. And the ingredients I'm going to be using today for this moisturising bar is I have them weighed out already in front of me. So I've got some beeswax here and I've weighed out 10 grams. I have some cocoa butter, of which I've weighed out 40 grams. I have some coconut oil, which I've weighed out 20 grams. I have some shea butter, which is 10 grams. Some mango butter, also 10 grams. I've got some sweet almond oil. I've got about just shy of 15 ml in there. And those are the main ingredients. And I'm going to use just a half a teaspoon of wheat germ as well. Because many of these ingredients are solid, I'm going to take this and I'm going to pop it in my pan of water I've got over here, which is already steaming away. So I'm just going to add all the solids, so the beeswax, the cocoa butter, the coconut oil, shea butter and mango butter. Some of them might need a little bit of helping hand because the shea butter is a bit more pasty, so it is a solid, but I will take this knife just to scrape it off into there. So it does need help melting down. And I'm going to leave the sweet almond oil out until all these other ones have melted. So I'm just going to get that over on the stove. So I've got a pot of water, which I've filled. Not going to bring it to boiling, but so it's steaming like that. And I'm going to keep an eye on it and just give it a stir until everything has melted down there. So now that I have got all of the solid butters melted in this pot here, you can see that without me pouring it out, it goes lovely golden colour. I am going to add the sweet almond oil, which I've just weighed out, measured out there. Pour that in. I'm going to give it all a little bit of a mix around. I'm going to leave that for 5 or 10 minutes to cool before I add the final ingredient, which is the wheat germ oil. And at that stage, you can also add some essential oils if there's a particular property that you want to achieve within your balm, whether there's something more moisturising, although there's very many different moisturising butters there which will do the job. But maybe you like certain scents like lavender or lemon or orange. And you can add some drops of that, but it's always best to be careful with your essential oils and make sure you know how many drops you should be adding to the amount of liquid you've got here. I tend to keep a lot of mine fairly neutral. I'm very choosy about scents. I don't like strong smells, and I certainly don't want to be carrying it around all day for me personally. So I'll probably leave the essential oils alone, but that is just an option that you could look into yourself. So finally, I have let it cool a little bit. You don't leave it too long before you put it into whichever mould you want to put it, because obviously it will start to set, so something to keep an eye on. But I've got my half a teaspoon of wheat germ oil, which is going in now. Give it one little more stir. And then I am simply going to pour it into my mould. Fills up one of those lovely. And then I'm just going to leave that to set. And once that's set, I'll be able to either put it in a little jar, a little pot, a greaseproof wrapper like a beeswax or something just to store it. And then you can simply take it and apply it over your skin as needed. So another really simple recipe and something that can be so beneficial to have in your house, keep your hands nice and moisturised year round. And here I have the finished, cooled, moisturising bar. So as you can see, that's just set in the shape of my mould, and it's simple to use. Kind of take it out and then you can just rub it over your skin or wherever you want, and it starts to melt. And if you can see that kind of glistening away, then you can just rub that in. Nice moisturising bar. Depending on the temperature, the time of year you're using it, you may find that that does get a little bit less hard in the summer months, and obviously in the winter when it's cooler it'll stay in its shape and form. If you find that it is softening too much, then adding more beeswax is normally a way to make it a little bit more firm. But hopefully that seems to be good so far. So I'll try and keep it out of the sun just so it doesn't melt away, because that is also another risk. Obviously I melted all the hard butters on the stove in the first place. And for me, I've just got a little Tupperware pot or something which I'll keep it in and use as and when I need to. So I hope you found that useful, and always do feel free to ask any questions if you have anything you'd like to know more about. And I look forward to bringing you some more recipes soon. Thanks for watching.